In company with USS Ebert DE 768, the Slater and her crew are sailing south from Casco Bay, Maine, bound for New York City. The time has come for their first transatlantic convoy to England. Slater is acting as lead ship, with Ebert stationed 1,000 yards astern with a speed of 18 knots. Both ships entered New York just before 0800, and Lieutenant Commander Wood of the United States Coast Guard Reserve came aboard to act as pilot and guide Slater into port. At 0827, the ship passed through the anti-submarine nets, entered New York Harbor, and moored portside to Pier 33 in Brooklyn. Lieutenant Commander Wood departed, as did Seaman Second Class John Luther Bush, who was transferred to Pier 92, the naval receiving station. Following morning muster on the 4th, deck court was held, and punishments were dished out. Motor Machinist Mate 3rd Class Hardin was confined for a period of 20 days and given extra police duty for being in the possession of 2 Liberty cards. Fireman First Class Wood received the same sentence for possessing another man's Liberty card. And that afternoon, Lieutenant J.G. Healy returned from temporary shore duty, and Slater got underway with the captain and navigator on the bridge. She changed berths to Leonardo Pier and anchored with 15 fathoms of chain in 3.5 fathoms of water using the starboard anchor. Ammunition began to be loaded at 1930. The loading of ammunition continued until 01:15 the next morning, and Slater returned to the 33rd Street Pier, mooring herself portside to Ebert. A barge and tug came alongside and refueled the ship, and at 0920, Seaman First Class Alan B. Carver was transferred to the St. Albans Hospital. Magazine temperatures were taken and found to be in acceptable ranges. Prior to refueling, the draft forward was recorded at 10 feet 10 inches and 11 feet aft. Following refueling, forward draft was 11 feet 2 inches and 11 feet 6 inches aft. 12,000 gallons was received. Fresh water was received as well, and Motor Machinist Mate 3rd Class Burroughs returned from the Naval Hospital in Brooklyn. And a list of ammunition received the previous day is also recorded in the deck log. 3-inch 50 caliber, 20mm, 40mm, and depth charges. Another sailor, Gunner's Mate 3rd Class Artlett, was also transferred to the hospital on the 3rd, but is recorded on the 5th. After morning muster on the 6th, Slater got underway at 10:15 from the 33rd Street Navy Annex Pier, en route to sea, in accordance with CTG 21.5 Operations Order Number 6-44 of 25 September. Slater's first convoy was beginning. With the captain at the con and navigator on the bridge, Slater joined USS Doran DD 634 and began forming up convoy CU-42. The CU convoys were the fast transatlantic convoys to the British Isles. These typically sailed at a minimum speed of 14 knots. The CU convoys were ideal for destroyer escorts as their screens, due to the faster speed of DEs compared to the British Flower-class corvettes. Unfortunately, Slater's war diary has never been found, apart from a few pages from 1945 in possession of the National Archives. The war diary contains much of the same information as these deck logs, but a key piece of information in the war diary not found in the deck logs is the daily position of the respective ship. Fortunately, war diaries of other ships sailing with Slater are available, and we can reference those coordinates to track Slater's wartime position. Since the CTG, Captain G.C. Wright, is enduring, we will reference her war diary for daily locations taken at 2000 hours. When Slater arrived with Doran, she began patrolling her assigned sector in a zigzag pattern as the other ships of the convoy arrived. This included a Boston section of ships, escorted by USS Carter DE-112 and USS Talmadge DE-242. After escorting the Boston section to New York City, Carter and Talmadge would return to Boston with the Dutch merchant ship SS Bantam, that had become a straggler, presumably due to engine troubles. After everybody was formed up, the convoy formed into 8 columns. USS Joyce, DE-317, was stationed in picket station number 1, 15,000 yards, 30 degrees relative, from SS Cristobal. USS Kirkpatrick, DE-318, was in picket station number 2, 15,000 yards, or 330 degrees relative from SS Cristobal. The other 8 escort vessels took day screening positions according to Table 4 for 8 escorts. Slater took up station number 3. A fog set in that night, so a forecastle lookout was set, and fog signals were commenced. Slater's first convoy was a sizable one, consisting of 46 ships. 12 of these were escort vessels. And the complete list of ships can be found at convoyweb.org.uk/Hague/index.html. This site was compiled from the papers of naval historian Arnold Hague, and he served in the Royal Navy and Royal Navy Reserve from 1949 until his retirement as a lieutenant commander in 1979. This convoy contained a mixture of merchant vessels and aircraft carriers, such as HMS Puncher and HMS Thane. Zigzag maneuvers and a forecastle watch due to the heavy fog continued into the next morning, and the fog finally lifted at 10:42, and all clocks and chronometers were wound. USS Burroughs, DE-105, left formation to cover a straggler merchant ship, SS Memnon. The convoy speed was changed to 14 knots at 12:17, and general quarters was called at 15:45 for possible subcontact. This proved to be a false contact, and the ship secured from general quarters 11 minutes later. On the 8th, speed was increased to 16 knots at 468 RPMs. The escort Commodore is in Doran, and the convoy Commodore, Commander J.M. Field Jr., is in SS Cristobal. USS Oswald, DE-767, left her station at 0135 to screen the merchant ship SS Bantam, who was straggling behind. Oswald returned to station 6 minutes later. Carter and Tomich were then ordered to escort SS Bantam to Boston, and fog set in again at 0200, and within 10 minutes the visibility reduced from 1,000 yards down to 50. A forecastle lookout was posted again. A submarine contact was reported at 0433. Sounded general quarters. This was another false contact, and the crew secured from general quarters 17 minutes later. At 0455, USS Harvison, DE-316, left her station to screen SS The Cabins, who also began straggling behind. At 0759, the sound gear was reported to be out of order, and the escort commander in Doran ordered Slater to perform anti-aircraft drill, and a 3-inch gun crew fired a single round, as did the 40mm. On the morning of the 9th, Slater was patrolling station number 3 at 16 knots, and the normal steering casualty drills continued. A sonar contact was picked up by USS Poole, DE-151, at 0121, and Oswald joined her to investigate. At 0152, Poole made a hedgehog attack with no results. The recorder trace was good, no Doppler was distinguishable, so both ships returned at 0113 after losing the sonar contact. USS Peterson, DE-152, left her station at 0955 to replace her SL radar antenna. Repairs were completed at 1222, and she resumed station number 2 at 1330. More anti-aircraft drills that afternoon, and Slater continued steaming, as before, into the next week. The job USS Slater was built for has finally begun. For the next 12 months, she will escort ships in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Much of it will be uneventful and boring, but through these deck logs, we will gain a unique look into the service of destroyer escorts and the greatest generation. Continue tuning in each week, and if you enjoy our content, consider becoming a member for only $25 on our website, ussslater.org. Your support ensures we can continue telling the stories of destroyer escort sailors long after they are gone.